Let's play Jeopardy! Hey everybody, Ryan the Game Show Guy is here. Thanks for checking out my tutorial on how to be able to take the granddaddy, in my opinion, the OG, the original game show that people use in the classroom, Jeopardy, and how to be able to modify this version that I've made and make it fit into your classroom or whatever setting that you want. I got to tell you, I have played Jeopardy countless times. It is so one that has always lent itself to the classroom experience. I got students who are standing up. I can quiz them on questions in this game show format, because that's kind of what I do with my assessments that we've always done. I'm giving them pop quizzes or tests. So it's a perfect way to be able to fit that. It is the question. I give a question, you give an answer, except Jeopardy twists that up. I give the answer, you give the question. Side note, by the way, a lot of kids don't watch Jeopardy, and some teachers who play the game are real sticklers for the way you're supposed to have to say, what is a giraffe is your answer, because it's opposite. But anyway, feel free to do whatever you want. I don't really play or go down that rabbit hole or whatever, but just be aware of that. Anyway, but it lends itself to a perfect classroom experience. And so I've made Jeopardy for you, so let's check it out. As you can see here, this is my Jeopardy game, and with all of my game shows, start on slide number 1. On slide number 1, you're going to have, I have a lot on here for you. It's the introduction to the student, so they can be able to, for what they're going to see when they go here. It'll be a nice thematic. It's an opener. It's the intro and such. I've debated, should I do videos or pictures? It's just a picture up there. Sometimes I animate it a little bit, because I don't know necessarily how long you're going to stay on there. What you will get on here is when you put this thing into slideshow mode, you will hear the sounds of the game. The intro, and that'll play for a while until you get to the next, the sound that's going to come up. And so Jeopardy's going to come up, boo, and this is the beginning, and you turn yourself into the game show host. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Mr. O'Donnell, we're talking about Jeopardy today, and you do all that kind of shtick or whatever. So you have the intro, you have the look of it, Jeopardy, you have the music that goes with it, and then if you notice here, I'll have 2 different notes for you as the teacher that the students do not see. Throughout all of my games, you're going to notice these 2 places that I'll utilize. The gray space, I call it, off to the side of each of the within the main. I don't use this all the time, but you'll see me, my little Bitmoji version of me down there. You can see right over there. And he sits there and kind of like tells you, hey, check out this, check out that. And then also in the bottom right down over here, too, you can see that this has a lot of this information for you as well, too. So the first one is just basically I put the same thing on all of the games. Hey, welcome everybody. And my biggest recommendation, which is modify it. Like, this is just a template. Do whatever you want with the thing, right? Mess around with it. Change your own rules. I don't care, right? I've spent a lot of time playing my games to be able to make it fit my room, my personality, and you do yours too, right? Anyway. So, and then the bottom, as you can see here, and the bottom is the fonts that you absolutely really should have installed on your computer here. If you haven't seen how to be able to get the fonts from there into here, it's once you download the file. When you download this from Teachers Pay Teachers, you're going to be able to see a zip folder in there. That zip folder will have the file itself and a folder of fonts. You want to take all those fonts out, go into install them. Like I said, there's a video I made earlier about that. And the fonts that you can will be listed here. And it says here, I need Jeopardy, this one Jeopardy spelled with a G, Baskerville, Oldface, and Impact are the fonts that you need for this particular game. Install them. I would say don't even open up Jeopardy first. Just get your fonts open and installed so that it will have the look that it was intended for. All right, so now here's my Jeopardy game. That's slide number 1. And from there, almost all of my games are going to have the same thing too, which it has this thing called Classroom Edition. Classroom Edition is basically, and it says here down the bottom, change these words if you like. Let's say if I'm doing something on Classroom Edition, I'm going to do this on, let's say I'm a history teacher and doing one on the Cold War. You can see just by typing in there, it gives me the unit of what that's going to look like. And so when I go from slide number 1 to slide number 2, let's see what this looks like here with our sound effects. There's the Jeopardy with the music. You can talk it up a little bit. And then I go to my next slide, the kind of cool transition. Transition comes into there. And then you can say, hey, everybody, here are your categories. And then the categories are just going to come in. It says topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4, topic 5. Now I hit escape and hop back out of there. That takes me through those first opening slides and what I'll introduce to the class. This is a template, folks. So a template, you fill everything in. So what is the topic if I'm going to be doing the Cold War? What's one of my groups and topics that I'm going to be able to do in here? Because this is how many questions that you're going to need for the Jeopardy. I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 5 is there's your 25 questions that you're going to be able to need for this. Some of you may think that that's too many. Some of you may think that's not enough. I need more. Well, hey, this is the Goldilocks amount, but feel free. Let me show you some ways to be able to edit and modify the thing, which is one, you could copy the whole thing, all of those rounds again, and make a whole separate double Jeopardy to be able to play it twice. Most people usually like playing just the one round that I've encountered. Now, if you don't have enough, here's the other option that you can do. Make one, something fun. Make it about, candy bars or something like that. Could be anything. It gives a degree of fun to games. It allows kids who sometimes struggle a chance to be able to feel like they're in it and they can get some questions. Anyway, so you can see I made that as topic number 2. So that means back over here, I would need to over here to be able to turn this to candy bars as well too. I write mine in all caps to sort of keep the theme over there. Now I need to be able to match this up. So if I'm going to be doing candy bars, now I remember that is category number 2, and I have category 2, 4, 6, 8, 1000. So now if I start scrolling here, I can start to see every slide will have I've listed what topic or row that is, and then the column, and then the row. So this is topic 1, 202. Then the next slide will be the answer with a button that would take you back home. And it's going to continue to do this. Ready? 2, answer. 4, answer. 6, answer. 8, answer. And so forth and so on. So the daily double. I'll talk about that in a second. So I wanted to be able to go back. And did you forget what it was? I didn't, but it is. Candy bars is topic 2, the first question. So now if I want to start making mine, I'm going to go find topic 2. Topic 2, 200, and here's it says type in your question here. I can click it once, click it twice. Here's a fun thing. Try the triple click. What? I've never triple clicked before. Ready? Oh, highlights the whole thing. That's a free one right there. Anyway, I'm going to have my all caps on because, like I said, to keep the theme, and I'm going to now write my question. Here's back to the Jeopardy thing that I mentioned before. Are you going to write them in questions or in answers? They like to do them in questions. Make it a little weird for you, but pick whatever. Anyway, made with chocolates, nougat, is that the word? Nougat and peanuts and caramel. Anyway, peanuts. This is the most popular candy bar in the U.S. And then there's your question. The way that this is designed here is that when I put this into the slideshow mode, the question's just going to come up. Wherever you click is automatically going to take you to the answer. Okay, so it's just going to go back and sit there, and it has the sound effect with it. You don't click anywhere, or whoever you're helping is this. Just let it sit there until you be able to do your how they're going to be able to answer the question. Then the click goes to the answer. Now if I click again, watch. Can't go anywhere. I've disabled that. You can manually override it by hitting the forward if you need to, but the whole idea is that you don't want to get to it because that will give you the next question. I need to go back to the big board. So that's what the button over here tells you to go to. And there it is. So back to the big board. Now, everything has already been hyperlinked and set into this thing. So now, theoretically, I was playing the game, and some kid goes, all right, I want to go candy bars for 200. I click on this. This is hyperlinked to that. Watch how it works. Takes me to that question, made with chocolate, nougat, and peanuts. Hit for the answer. Takes me there. Now watch the magic of the board, everybody. When I click on this thing, look what happens. Because the way I've enabled this thing is that after I've clicked on that $200 amount, it will now disappear. This is essential for your students to know which ones I can't pick anymore, which is, by the way, the biggest struggle in Google Slides, why this has to be done in PowerPoint. Google Slides doesn't have even remotely the kind of power. I do have a workaround for Google Slides. There'll be a video that you can check out. It's not even remotely as robust as you can see here in PowerPoint. But anyway, that in essence is it, folks. You just keep going in there and start adding yours. If I wanted to, I can get creative, like since I'm using a computer and I have the potential to show visuals, maybe get some visuals on there. Like, how about a picture of the candy bar? I can go copy and paste this thing and go put it into, let me go find where I was on that. And I can now put this into here. I can make these media questions kind of a thing. Now, there's a different school of thought in this, is that do I want to be able to put the image with the question? That's one. Or if I wanted to, I can go back over here and make the image part of the answer. So I can go back over here and say, oh, I can now have the answer be, oh, I should have written it here, Snickers. Or I could have just dropped in the image or put both in there. So get creative with the kind of imageries that you're going to be able to have on there. I got a finished one. You want to see? It's like one of those cooking shows. You're like, oh, man, let's pull out the lasagna. It's been cooking for 4 hours and now. Yeah, just put it in. But you got it. Anyway, here it is. So I'm pulling out the turkey or whatever. Here's one that I have done. No, wrong. Here we go. All right. This is one that I've done for a world history class or a U.S. history class on the Cold War. There's the music. I would talk this thing up, like we said before. Here's your categories. And my categories are cartoons, people, vocabulary, and geography. All right. And then you divide your classes up and all that sort of stuff. Oh, I forgot battles. And there they are here. Oh, I forgot to put battles over there in the far one topic here. I was forgetting something. Anyway, so I recreated those. This game is complete, except for that part. And it's all ready to be able to go. So now if somebody goes, all right, I'm going to go people for 200. People for 200 will take you there. Here's the click. You ask for the questions. There's the answer. There's the big board. And back again. Questions you can see here. Sometimes there's just text. Sometimes there's media. For this one, all about cartoons, you can see that I've put different political cartoons up here. I'm going to ask the students about those cartoons. There's your answer. Back to the big board and such. Now, let's get to the, there's a couple trickies in here, the daily doubles. I'm going to click on people for 600. All right, there's the daily double. Now, if you notice for like it literally is a half a second, the text comes up. Nobody will be able to read it and see it in that amount of time, and this thing will pop up. This will now cover up the text and be able to, whoever guessed that question, now you pause and say, how much of your total do you want to be able to wager on this thing now? And you do the follow-up normal daily double stuff. Let me show you how this works here. I'm going to hit escape out of there. And so now, the way I've designed this, I've zoomed out. This is how you, in the bottom right, you can zoom in and zoom out. What I've done is I made that graphic, that daily double graphic, made it smaller and push it down a smidge, so you can be able to write the question there. And then this needs to be on top of it. So this has all been animated. Don't touch your edit unless you feel comfortable enough, but I wouldn't recommend it. Because as soon as the slide shows, this thing pops up after a half a second, plays that sound, will not go away until you click on it, and then the question comes up. Okay, and then if I hop out of here and I can see in my slide view, I have two of these here. There's one here, and there's one farther down here about this one after map. The way that the reason I've done these is because it's been one of the biggest changes I've done for Jeopardy. I've always had them in the same locations, but if teachers play the games multiple times, kids remember where the spots are, the daily doubles are. Now you can move them. You simply will just take this. I'm going to right-click and copy that. Sorry, did I copy that? Let me just make sure. Right-click and not copy it, but cut it. Get rid of it. It's still in my clipboard. So now let me go back over to another slide. I'm going to go to my very first one here. This cartoon that says the figures that represent these powers. I'm going to paste that. Just leave it. Now, this is going to be the first one. So if I go back into the slideshow mode, click on there, and we should be able to see, here's my upper left-hand corner. Watch. There's that half a second that it shows, and then it comes up. My recommendation, by the way, is I like to put daily doubles and not have images on there, because that's much easier for someone to be able to pick up and see and get a hint at it. So that's why text is almost impossible for them to be able to pick up that fast. So that's how you can be able to move the daily doubles around, and you just start getting creative with stuff. Like here's a look at these geography questions. You could do I took a screenshot of Google Maps and hey, where was Poland or Normandy and that sort of stuff. And then I just be able to do a little drawing in PowerPoint of where the answer could be. And the kids on here are going to have to go up into the screen and point and be in the general area. And so that's in essence how you can be able to do this. You can see all the different kinds of questions that I've had put together my study guide. You can go to Quizlet and find questions and whatnot and so forth. The very end of the game, there is a Final Jeopardy. Some teachers don't want to do a Final Jeopardy. That's fine. I'm probably 50-50. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. The Final Jeopardy is the button that you can see way up over there, that big button. Not big, tiny button, final button. Takes you there. There's the sound effect, gives it 1 second, and then there will be the topic that you will pre-write ahead of time. Mine's called The Lead to War. Then I have, if you are going to do that, have them look at all their totals and write down their totals. And then comes the question, and then here comes the Jeopardy thinking music. You can let that up. Play, once everybody's done, have them put their pens down, show the boards. Make these more challenging for sure. Your choice. You could be individuals from the team come up or everybody. I haven't even really talked about the whole music. Haven't really talked about the whole how to be able to play the game. Feel free to use your own creativity. My quick recommendation is this. Basically, I had to play for almost all of my games is I get divided to class up into 3 teams. And then for every question, I have a different person come up. And then those 3 people were going to be basically do like the fastest hand or a buzzer question. And so those 3 people play. One of them guesses. If they get it incorrect, wrong, where the other 2 can kind of be able to guess. And after that, 3 new people. So in a class of 30 something, let's say, that gives me, right, there's 10, I'm doing the math here. Anyway, each kid should probably go up to the board about 2 or 3 times to try to be able to guess. Be careful, as always, with game shows that some kids don't want to play at all. And if kids are really hesitant towards playing, then I give them an out. This is only usually used as a review, so I don't want this to be a high stress thing. Some kids will absolutely relish and try to play more. You'll know who they are, and then other kids are not going to want to be able to be part of this as well. And you can be able to change it up and not say, what if we had 2 people from each team come up and they can collaborate? So that's 2, 4, 6 people. Anyway, get creative with the thing. Jeopardy's super fun. It's super easy to be able to create, and hope you have a fun time playing with it. That's Jeopardy. I'm the Game Show Guy.